Hello, everybody. What the heck is going on here in the Chameleon Academy? Woo! What a day this is going to be. And why is this going to be a day? Well, I'm going to tell you because, my goodness. Let me go ahead and make sure audio levels are good. Good. Hello, everybody. Lisa. She's always there telling us we're pretty. We like having Lisa around. Hello, Nate. And Leander from Denmark is here. Welcome. Always good to have our European friends. Janet and everybody. Yep. Robin's in the mood for Parsons, which is appropriate. And we got some Parson stuff going on today. Not only do we have a little bit of a tour of some of the Parsons that are in our community, but I actually have a little fecal challenge. Okay, everybody, I know that sounds to anybody first coming to the show, they're going, okay, this is a weird place. No. This is completely legit. We're not strange. Well, we may be a little bit strange, but yes, we search for parasites here. So for anybody who's seeing this on a replay, just know you can watch this live and be part of the live audience who is going crazy right now. Saturdays at 12 noon. Join us. It's a lot of fun. So, all right. We need to, well, I guess, first of all, I got to let you know what's going on. So, I am slightly going to be very interesting today. My dog decided to get up in the middle of the night and was whimpering and something going on. You know, I love my dogs. If anything happens, I'm up. So, I have gotten like zero sleep. They may be having a little seizure. Don't know. So we gotta anyway, they're going to be going to the urgent care today. We're going to be figuring it out, but he's acting normal and he's sitting there at 3:24 in the morning. You know, he's whimpering a little bit, but then 3:24 in the morning, we're going through all this. I'm in the backyard going, oh my gosh, how are we going to survive this? He wants to play fetch. So yeah, that's about the level of concern we're at right now. We just got to figure out what's going on with this guy. Anyway, no sleep. So you know, he says he's kind of like sleep drunk. You know what that means? You haven't had enough sleep and you just get kind of loopy. Well, that's where I am right now. But to take care of my sleep loopiness, I have some very good coffee. James, anything I said about going off of coffee does not apply to today. And you're thinking, oh, well, that's great. What is that? That's my DIY resin cup. This is a mug sent to me by Marcia Ann of Neymar's Feeders as a thank you for coming on to the show. And the reason why I've got her cup, you're thinking, product placement. No, it's because it's bigger than my Chameleon Academy cup. So that's what I need right now as far as coffee. So, woo. Let's see. Oh, you know what? Lisa says, if you only knew how nice that was and how little I get. Aw, well, you come here, you get nice things. Javi says, speaking of fecal, my wild caught Baba has parasites, ascarid eggs. Okay. Well, you know, ascarid eggs, if you're going to have something, that's the thing to have because you can, as long as they're the right, I assume ascarids, nematodes, whatever. Generally speaking, fenbendazole can take care of that, and it's so safe because it doesn't get into the bloodstream. Everything a little bit, but it stays mostly in the gut. That's why it's so safe. It's not systemic. So, and it was really effective in the gut, which is where a lot of these parasites are. So, Bill's hair is splendiferous today. It is. It is getting to the point where I need to go back to the guy that cuts my hair. He's been doing, I've had the same guy for years now, 5-7 years now. And I always tell him, I hate to see you. I don't want to see you again. And he laughs because he knows I wait until the last minute to get my hair cut. But when I have to, I have to. And it's getting to the point where it's getting in my face. So Enjoy the hair where it is now. It's next time you see me, well, maybe next Saturday. Tuesday, you'll probably see me. I don't know if I'll get it done by Tuesday. Anyway, whew. Ah, hello, Bill. I knew you couldn't quit. James is talking about coffee. Hope Blaze is okay. I hope so too. He's like not showing. He'll still start whimpering, and then it's possible he may be having a little minor seizure or something, but then he's back to normal. So we'll get to the bottom of it. We'll get to the bottom of it. And Janet says, dealing with parasites, also with my mild cough. Janet, I'd like to hear your experiences, because Janet has flagellated protozoa, or her bifidus has flagellated protozoa, and that is metronidazole. Metronidazole, or flagell, is a totally different beast than fenbendazole. And so, Janet, I'm really interested in hearing how your bifidus reacts to the fenbendazole. I've had my Kaluma, my shamrocks, Kaluma shonaceae, and some Parsons not react well to metronidazole. And they just kind of go into this funk, and then they snap out of it. So I very much, Janet, I want to hear the results of your dosing of metronidazole with the bifidus, which is a furcifer. All right. Oh, Flick's here. Flick. Hello, Flick. Flick's from Northern Ireland. See, we always are especially appreciative of our European guests here, because this is not the right time for them. This is like in the middle of the night for them. So we really celebrate our European guests. Hello. That's my vet. Hey, vet, could you turn on the air conditioner?
I did. I just now.
She's back. She's going to be taking good old Blazer to the urgent care. We're going to see if we can get to the bottom of what the heck he's getting me up at 2 a.m, 3 a.m. for. 2 a.m, I think. By 3:24, I remember that, because that's when he wanted to play fetch out in the backyard, and I was happy to do it, because the best news possible is that he's acting normal and just wants to play fetch. But my goodness, today is going to be a rough day. Winnie B here says, sorry late. Had to go into the canna shop for my wife. Canna shop. I don't know what that is. All right. Joanne, our Canadian representative here. Oh, they did not give metronidazole. I do have some. They gave brevicorn ivermectin. Ow. Well, ivermectin for flagellated protozoa? Oh, okay. Well, you were up at 3:24? All right, so this is why I am surprised that Janet was prescribed ivermectin. So first of all, Janet, did they find anything else besides flagellated protozoa? Okay. They found, Kristen's here. Hello, Kristen. Very good to see you. Kristen is coming to Madagascar again. She is a repeat visitor. Kristen, so good to see you. They found some parasites they could not identify. Yeah, did they give any? Okay, the reason why I am wanting to know more about this is because ivermectin is it's a systemic. It gets into the blood, and it's caused chameleon deaths before, because we're still working on the right dosage. Now, your vet, if they've got experience with the dosage and stuff, I wouldn't be worried. But and actually we're going to be getting to ivermectin. I have a situation that we'll be talking about it, but it's ivermectin is often used for nematodes. You say, well, wait a minute, Bill, fenbendazole is used for nematodes. Yes, but the difference between them, fenbendazole stays in the gut. It doesn't get absorbed into the bloodstream as well. That's why it's so safe. Ivermectin, on the other hand, gets into the bloodstream. So, advantage of ivermectin, it will go throughout the body. And so if there's nematodes, other places in the body, which they do hang out in other places in the body, ivermectin will take care of them. But when you've got these poisons going throughout the entire body, it's really hard on the chameleon. And while they were trying to figure out the right dosages, you'll see in the scientific literature, ivermectin has been responsible for some deaths, but that's because they were figuring out the dosage. None of the drugs that we use are designed for reptiles. It's all of us having to, the vets trying to figure out what's the right dosage. But yes, I'd very much like to see an identification of the parasites. Hey, Steffi! Oh my gosh, I don't have any from you. We may have to do a second half to the Parsons showing, because I didn't even put any of mine in there. So everybody, if you have a Parsons chameleon and it didn't show up in today's slideshow, which I'm about to start, please send them to me, because I want to do a second showing of this. I did not get enough in today. So we're going to have 2 weeks of Parsons chameleons. Yep. 2 vets looked at him from the zoo due to wild caught. They could not identify it. Well, they can at least identify what kind it is, whether it's an entamoeba or at the genus level, or even at the is it coccidia? Is it entamoeba? Does it look like a nematode? That kind of thing. I'd be interested. I mean, obviously, I don't know what they've seen, and they're experts. So I would very much like to see what they've got. It's going to be awesome, you guys. I'm bringing licorice. Yes. And by the way, we do have new people coming. Emily and her family, including Rosie, our 6-year-old. We're going to have a real fun time. Let's see. I will share Monday. Yes, let's find out. We in the Chameleon Academy, we love these little detective challenges, is figuring out parasites. And so please share Monday. We want that everything, each one of these is a case study that we can learn from and be better at. Yeah. Lisa says, Parsons, them, and Flappy Flaps. Oh, hey. Okay, maybe we need a Flappy Flap a weekend. Yeah. All right. Entamoeba coccidia. It just kind of rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? All right, everybody. We need... Yeah, so anyway... My water, you got to stay hydrated when you drink coffee. So my DIY guys cup. And let's see. I'm just going to see if I can snag. Come here. I got to introduce you to the... No. See, these are Shiba Inus. My dogs are Shiba Inus. They're wise to the whole, you're going to pick me up, I'm out of here thing. They're like that. So... We have Fido Refined. New to chameleons or reptiles, so reptile vet care, but I'm a licensed vet tech. Do they not send fecals out to lab for analysis when they can't identify something? Well, obviously, I guess you would know this. Most vets, I've had vets send them out if they either do it. My vet sometimes does it right then and there, and then sometimes they send them out. So in this case, I don't know what they're doing with Janet's situation. Hopefully they figure it out. I'm just curious. I would not expect somebody to say, I don't know what this parasite is, so you're getting ivermectin. So that attaching those two together is raises a lot of questions in my mind. Is what exactly did they see? Jan says, yes, my vet did this and should know on Monday. Perfect. All right, everybody. At the end, I'm going to be showing you a bunch of our communities, Parson's Chameleons. And at the end, we are going to be having a little case study of parasites. And I'm going to show you a video. And we are going to be talking about what do you think it is? And, you know, they're saying, oh, I know it obviously is. Your first response is, I know exactly what that is. Your second response, I'm going to challenge that and say, okay, but let's go a little bit deeper. And so we're going to have a little fun case study for the fecal analysis that I did yesterday. So anyway, what are we here for, everybody? We are here to celebrate the Parson's chameleon because it is such an absolutely wonderful species of chameleon. It's not for everyone. It's hardy, but everything about them is big. You need a bigger cage. You need big food. It's like so it's to the point where, okay, you got to really mean it if you're going to go for a Parson's chameleon. So let's go ahead. And what I've done is I've had people from the community send in photos, and we are going to be introduced, and we're going to have a fun little tour of the Parson's chameleons of our community. And I know I didn't get everyone. I didn't get Stephanie's. I didn't get mine. And if anybody else has other Parsons that don't show up in here, please send them to me because I want to do this again next week. So, yes. Let's see. She says, okay, yay. Like I said, still learning reptile care. Want to take Bill's class? Oh, yes. We'd love to have you. I hope we all know the outcome. For your baby feeling better. Yeah. Me too. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at Parson's chameleons. Now, what I'm doing here is the first slide is going to be the Parson's chameleons that we saw in the wild. And so you give you a little insight. These, and by the way, everybody who's going to Madagascar in January with me, these are the ones that we're going to be seeing. We're going to be seeing all of the varieties of Parson's chameleons except the green giant, which is in deepest, darkest Masawala, and we are not hiking 2 to 3 days into the wilderness for a chance to see one of these things up in a tree. But yes, that would be fun, and maybe one day I'll just dedicate an entire trip and we'll go see if we can find them. But anyway, this is a picture of a yellow lip Parson's chameleon, Kaluma parsonii, that we will see in Runnemuf. I won't say we will see. I can't guarantee anything. They do whatever they want to, and we hope that we're in the same area as them. We're going to go looking for them. But this is in the Runnemufana area. For those of us going to Madagascar, this will be where we go first. We're going to Runnemufana first, and it's a 2-day trip. So we'll stop by. We'll see some. Hopefully, we'll see some first for minor, some Kaluma brevicorn, some first for lateralis, Kaluma crypticum, and then along the way, and then finally we get to Runnemufana. And in Runnemufana, that's where we're going to be seeing. We hope to see Kaluma personia yellow lip, the shamrock chameleon, and a whole lot of other little mini chameleons. So this is what we are ready to go. Yes, we need a Kola green giant trip. Oh, all right. My Parson's journey made me redo a whole room in the basement. Yes, and they are worth it. So let's go ahead and this is Sully. Sully is James is a chameleon that is cared for by James Cross. And this is a wonderful picture because James is next to Stephanie Kong, who is an alumnus of the Madagascar trip of the Madagascar 2025 and will be returning for 2027. So we are so excited to see Stephanie again. And yes, Stephanie signed up. And so Kirsten, Dustin, James, Stephanie returning to Madagascar. Ooh. This is Pandora. And you will notice, I want you to notice, everybody, as we're going through this, the females look suspiciously similar for most of them. And so this is why it's a real challenge with our Parsons chameleons. But look at that. The female Parsons are gorgeous and beautiful. I tell you, they don't have the ornamentation or the fancy colors, but you look into those eyes and you know they've got the Parsons soul. So, yeah. This is Tessa from Alex Morales. There you got the looking at that Parsons eye. Another Tessa. Now, yellow lip is one of, I love yellow lips so much. I love the blue. And this is from Robin. Robin has these are from Nylon Reptiles, and so I just put Robin's name because she's our contact there. So she gets, and she's the one who sends me pictures, so she's get credits for everything. And she named this James. I don't know who named it James, but James, I don't know. Is this named after James Cross? Oh, wait, when did Alex get a Parsons? Who knows? Maybe I'm just making it up. No one ever knows. Oh, we've got female Parsons are the best. That's Stephanie. James says, my females are my favorite. Elmo says, of course, we're now talking. That's the one that's Alex's baby. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we got beautiful blue on that guy. And there is Clifford doing the typical yellow lip thing. And after we're done in Ranamafana, we're going to bounce over onto Anja, which is where we're going to see the ring-necked lemurs, Furcifer ustaleti, maybe Brachysia brunoi. But this is where we get to, there will be ustaleti. We'll see them all along the road. It's a whole lot of fun. But then we are going to go back up north, and we are going to go to Vohimana, where we can see the yellow giant. Now, yellow giant, there's a lot of variation there. They're not all just yellow. A lot of variation. But you're going to be seeing, we're going to see some yellow. That's Dre. Look at that head. Oh my goodness. There's a lot of variation in the yellow giants to the point where there's some, and I'll show next time, there's greenish greens and blues too. So there is Andasi Bay. This is Kaluma personii Christopher. This is the smaller subspecies. Very rare. Not necessarily rare that they don't exist. It's just they're not as well known and they're smaller, and so they get less attention. But they're rarer to find people who are working with them. But obviously, they are beautiful. Now, when I say smaller, they're still larger than an adult panther chameleon. So they're still hefty. I mean, that thing's pretty hefty. Yeah. And what I'll do next time is we'll also have a section of other Kaluma. We've got some Globifer and some shamrocks that deserve attention. Well, they're bigger than you think, especially in the wild. Yeah. Actually, James, we saw this in the 2025 with James. I was surprised when I saw how big this guy was. I'd say, oh my goodness, I did not realize that Christopher were that big. So, yeah. Nice education there. There's Uli. And Uli is definitely a member of this community. She started off with Uli Nunn, and then went to go live with James for a little while, and then found her home with Robin. So Uli's kind of a mascot here. And then after we're in Vohumana, we are going to go to the coast. At this point, we actually have to take a boat to where we're going to be staying for a couple of nights. And in that area, that's where we see the orange-eyed. So this is a picture of an adult male that is in that area. Now, what exactly we're going to call it? Tomasina is a large area, so this is generally speaking. So, someone remind me of the lifespan of a Parsons. Up to 20 years. We've had them for over 10 years now, and our husbandry is just getting better and better and better. So it's like that 20-year estimate, I think is going to be continually pushed out a bit. So I think we are underestimating it by saying 20 years, but that's where we stand right now. Who the heck is this? Well, that's good old James out there with our mystery man. This isn't really a community chameleon. That's a chameleon that just happens to be hanging out with somebody in the community in Madagascar. So I decided we got to put him in anyways. This is Gideon. That's an old man living with James Cross. That's beautiful orange eye. I was trying to work with the color balance on this thing. It really got reddish, I think probably because of the wood in the background. So anyway, I was trying to work with that color. So they're not this red. That's just an artifact of the photo. Oh, and this is the cutest Bert, who has just gone to live with Nate Rowley. Oh. And that's Bert being cute. We love you, Bert. Another view of Bert. You know, Bert is larger than I thought he was. I always thought that Bert was like a subadult, maybe this guy's getting is more massive than I thought he was. So this is the one that Nate created an entire room for. Is that an entire room? You had a huge cage. He redid a room. Yeah. We loves the Bert. And there's Jenna's Charlie. What a cool dude. What a cool dude. Now, let's see. I got to bring up. There is Boaz, who is living with James Cross. We hear a lot about Boaz. She's been around for a while. You missed it. But Jenna's at Tinley. She said to say hi. Oh, Jenna, very good to see you. Glad you. I don't know if you're dropping by, but thank you. Hello, Jenna. Very good to hear from you. Jenna's going to be coming with us to Madagascar. Yeah, if everybody's saying, wow, everybody's going to Madagascar, we have quite a trip going. This is going to be the party bus. And if this is going to be the last, to have a last trip, this is going to be the best last trip. This is the way to end my little tour, my tour phase. There's Stella, another female. Love the photo. We got the nice scalation on there. Yeah. It says, I want a Boaz. Yeah, they are so nice. Wendy! See, this we get excited when Wendy's here because she's from the UK. just past the ox. And there's Calvin. Now, that's interesting. We don't see a whole lot of that's an interesting coloration. And I would ask, I is that how Calvin always is? Is this an artifact of the photo? Does Calvin have orange eyes, or is it very muted? And yeah, Robin, what's the deal with Calvin here? Is it just the photo, or is he that greenish? And everybody, we need to realize that this whole orange eye, yellow lip, yellow giant type stuff, that's all of us trying to categorize these. Nature doesn't care about our categorization, and there's a wide variety within Parsons. And so don't expect, if you end up with a yellow lip or an orange eye, or especially yellow giant, don't expect you're going to get a certain color, because there's a wide variety within each one of these locales. Robin says it's just the pick. Okay. All right. There's Grace. Oh, such a sweetie. Mary saying, "Why are you waking me up? Go away." Oh, and Marshall. Oh, look at that. Look at those rostral processes on this guy. Oh, my goodness. He's also wild card. Are you talking about what, Calvin or Marshall? All right, now let's go to the green giant. I have not seen the green giants in the wild. That's why I'm using one of Robin's pictures. And these are mythical. We've only relatively recently, like last year. Robin, when did you get your first green giants? As far as I know, this is relatively last year or two is the first time that green giants have been around. And so this is really a new locale for us. And they're very difficult to find in the wild, because they're deep away from any place that's really easy to get to. So very few people will have seen a green giant. They look like big green Parsons chameleons. I'll tell you. October 2024. Okay. So yeah, this is everybody. You're watching something new. Yep, green giants are very rare. They used to be a legendary creature. Yeah. There's Wayne. Look at that. I love the washes of yellows and greens and blues. So Wayne is a beautiful boy. Beautiful boy. Good old Wayne again. Can't get enough of Wayne. He looks like a gentleman. He looks like a gentleman. There's Gwen and Trevor. Yes, we're very excited about whatever Gwen and Trevor are up to. And there's Gwen, looking beautiful in her foliage. And this is interesting. Curtis is a yellow giant orange eye cross that Robin has. And everybody, this is what happens when all the females, most of the females, look the same. Even if you try to keep them apart, the exporter can mislabel them, and there can be mistakes made and crosses developed. So interesting. Robin, are you able to share how you know that this is a cross? See, this is the problem with Parsons chameleons that have like a 2-year egg incubation and then another year or two before they really mature to where you can see them as adults. That's 4 years. That's a long time. Oh, my goodness. I'm interested, Robin. Oh, she says, Robin says, look at the the blue spots. Can't really see it. We can see spots in this photo. Can't really see the blue in it. But I do notice that I don't see the white spot. The Parsons chameleons usually have that white spot, and the female green giants don't seem to have that white spot. Anyway, there is Curtis, who's a cross. And so ever you can see that these crosses, you may look at that and say, oh, wow, I wouldn't complain about having a cross. They are beautiful, and they are. If you are looking for a pet, a cross, it will be wonderful. The reason why we don't really like crosses, it's not that we don't like the cross themselves. We don't like crossing them because once we cross those genetics, we don't get them back. And so even though the cross itself is beautiful, it just means that we've lost the orange eye and the yellow giant genetics. We can't ever separate them out again. And so that's why we avoid crossing as much as possible. So says, oh, the breeder knew the males all look different. Okay. Correct. The green giants don't have the spot. Just enjoying all this wonderful imagery while chomping on tortilla chips and salsa and coffee. Oh, that's perfect. Man, we all need to show up at Valentina's house. she's got it down. Being a cross is a goodness. Yeah, see, everybody, this is what I put up with. Curtis actually fires a very light purple color. Ooh, wow, nice. Oh, I hope we get to see that picture of James retrieving his escaped Parsons from a tree. That's right. Okay, everybody, we are definitely having a second Parsons adventure, and I am going to include, we're having a second Parsons episode, and I'm going to include pictures from James retrieving Sully, who went on an adventure into his yard. Said the breeder didn't mean to crossbreed. The female was mislabeled. Yeah, that's what happens. I got my females. I ordered orange-eyed, and the importer came to me a little bit later and said, hey, sorry, man, you got yellow lip. That's why I have yellow lips now. I originally tried to get orange eyes. But, so that's the deal there. So, all right, everybody, are you ready to have a challenge? Let me bring this up. That's right. So obviously we don't do, we around here, we are very much into acclimation. We are very much into doing our own fecals. And to be clear, everybody, that's not because we're replacing a veterinarian. It's because we want to be better partners with our veterinarian. By us doing our fecals every month, we get an early warning system for when we need to go to the vet. We don't wait until we get the physical manifestations, which means that the parasite load has gotten to the point where it's affecting their health. We catch the parasites before it affects their health. We go to the vet. We say, vet, here's some poop. Please, let's get rid of this stuff. Bill said fecals, and I immediately stopped. Yeah, that's a danger of being on any one of these shows, because at any time we can start talking about parasites. It's a occupational hazard of being part of the Chameleon Academy community. Oh, let's see. Seeing all four types together, you can somewhat spot the differences in them. Yeah, there's an advantage having them all sitting in front of you at once. Hey, we got another Canadian. Mikey Ben, welcome. Every fecal I look at, I send to the circle and show up at my vets with poop. My vet loves what the chameleon community is doing with being a partner. Dr. Krupka, Avon Lake Animal in Cleveland. Thank you, Dr. Krupka, for being such a wonderful vet. Yes, I walk into my vet and I am showing them on my iPhone all of the videos and the pictures of everything that I found, and he's going, okay, yeah, and that's where we get our medication. That's all right, everybody. I'm going to bring it up. It's time. So here's the background. Everything is it's this guy right here. Hey, dude. Actually, should I bring him out? This is the Parsons episode, and we've got time. I'm bringing him out to show you. So this guy is new here. He's wild caught. And so I am working on the acclimation, and that's why, if you see in here in this cage, I have all of the, this is for a bioactive, but right now it's just pure drainage and I have this screen here. Having a screen bottom is incredible. It's wonderful because when the poop hits the bottom of the cage, the water that's at the bottom, because this is a Parsons chameleon, look, there's water all over the place. It doesn't pool around the poop and spread whatever's in the poop. I love having the screen bottom when I'm trying to work through acclimation. And let's start with the clues. First of all, I've had 2 fecals from this guy negative. And when I say negative, I am able to check for nematode ova, nematodes, entamoeba, coccidia, and flagellated protozoa. Those are the things that we can easily check. Let's see. Come here, buddy. Oh, there we go. There we go. Come on. Come on. Oh, and they've got these tails. These amazingly strong tails. Ouch. And these amazingly strong feet. Ouch. Ow. It's okay, buddy. Ouch. Almost there. All right. Here we go. Do you want to do a case study with us? There we go. All right. So this is the dude that I am currently working on acclimating. So I've had 3 fecals from him. The first 2 were negative. I saw nothing. Third one. So by the way, everybody, quiz. What variety, what locale is this guy? And if you already have Parsons chameleons, you don't count. You can't guess. This is for people that are just starting off. So, yeah, I have scars from those feet. Yes. Oh. Bill. Mikey Ben, you are absolutely correct. It's a yellow lip. Valentina, yellow lip. Yeah. Bill, I don't know how you're going to sell that. James. That decision's already been made. He's not going anywhere. What are you doing? You're hiding behind this. Everybody, they can't see your wonderful eyes when you're like that. So, all right. So let's go ahead. I did a fecal float and I'm sorry, a fecal smear. Now, fecal smear is done with saline solution. And the idea behind the saline solution is we want to see things, we want to see movement. It's mainly used to identify and see flagellated protozoa. The reason why we want them alive is because we identify them through movement. If they were all dead, which they are when we do a float, we don't see them. It's really hard to see them because they just disappear. And so, all right, I'm going to put him away because he's probably saying, I This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I am a chameleon, and I am supposed to be hiding. There we go. There we go. Yes, you are supposed to be hiding. And there we go. So we do a smear and a float. Now the float, when we put the solution in, it actually kills things. So we're not going to be seeing movement. Those are our tools. So what you're going to see is a video that I took with the fecal smear. So this is where I'm looking for movement. This is where I'm looking for flagellated protozoa. There we go. So if I were to ask you what is going on here, what would you say? What would you say? Well, it's kind of obvious. Nematodes. Now, this is but the thing is, we don't usually expect to see adult nematodes swimming around like this in the fecal smear. We don't expect to see adults because nematodes, the adults live in the gastrointestinal tract and they produce ova. The ova go out into the fecal, and the ova go out, those are like eggs, and the ova have to get back into the mouth of a chameleon and start the cycle again. The adults don't come out. It's not like human pinworms. So when you actually see adult nematodes in the fecal matter, give me your input. What do you think could be going on here? And go ahead, put it down. We've got some time. Let's talk about this because it's important that we have these kind of thought puzzles. See, guys, this is what I got to deal with. This is what I got to deal with. They are treated and shedding them. Lisa says the infestation is bad, saying that if you see them in the poop, that means it's a really big infestation. And Marcia Ann is saying overcrowded. They have hatched inside the chameleon and need to be wormed with panicure. Is that an excessive load that made its way into the intestine? Okay. So the important thing about this is that we're thinking, okay, what could this be? And first I'll say, number one, an important clue is that it fell on a screen floor. The reason is, if you see this, and it depends on where you got the poop. If the poop hits any sort of soil, anything that is contaminated, what you could be seeing is free-living nematodes from the soil. We don't expect to see living nematodes in the poop. And so if you get a poop and all of a sudden you see this whole party of nematodes, you got to say, okay, where did I get this? Because if it falls in like a potted plant, nematodes that are living in the soil that are not parasitic. I mean, there are so many you wouldn't believe how many nematodes there are in the world. There was some estimate that if you left the nematodes where they were and you just took away all the soil, you could be sitting on the moon and you would still think that you're seeing Earth because there's just so many nematodes. That's someone estimated that. And so we can get into a panic because what we're seeing is all the soil nematodes coming to the poop. And then oh my gosh, I've seen that before. The first time I saw that, it just blew my mind. But when I when I get it off of the screen here, there's no free living nematodes sitting on the screen. So these came from the fecal. That's the first thing we have to consider. So the second thing we have to consider is where are they coming from? There are a couple of species of nematodes that auto-infect. They actually, strongyloides are like this. They will get their ova in the intestines. Some of that ova goes out, and some of it turns into a larva, and they come out. They will come out as nematodes. And so what we could be looking at is a strongyloides infection, which would be everybody, if I have a strongyloides infection, what would be the medicine that we treat with? And go ahead and put down your thoughts on that. Because there is, Janet says, Panicure. Yes, Panicure, fenbendazole. That is wonderful for nematodes in the gastrointestinal tract. Now, everybody, it gets messy. What about rhabdias, lungworms? Nematodes that live in the lungs, and they have their ova in the lungs, and those ova hatch and then crawl up the trachea and are coughed into the intestines, and then the larvae get shoved out of the fecal chute and go out into the world, and they do their thing. What's the problem, everybody? Okay, this is a little bit of tricky. We've talked about it, but a little bit tricky. What is the problem with nematodes that live in the lungs? Yeah, the problem is that fenbendazole is mostly effective in the gut. And that's why it's so safe. It's because it doesn't get into the bloodstream. If we're going to be reaching something that's living in the lungs, we need something that is a little bit more risky because it gets into the bloodstream. It's systemic. It gets into bloodstream. It starts to get dangerous when it starts crossing the blood-brain barrier. This is why we're concerned about whether neonicotinoids are safe for chameleons. Okay, well, we won't get into pesticides, but if they are lungworms, rhabdias, we're going to have to do something like, and here we are, Janet, we're going to have to do something like ivermectin, because ivermectin does get into the bloodstream and would go to the lungs to attack these lungworms. So, dang it, I'm just a guy, not a doctor. Tribute to Dr. McCoy. Swinky, yes, we're talking about parasites. You missed all the Parsons chameleon talk. You came just in time to talk about poop and parasites. Oh. If they come out too fast, it can kill your chameleon. Yeah, there's a problem if you have too big of an infection and you kill everything. You have necrotic shock, where the body has to figure out what to do with all of this dead and decaying parasite flesh. So pieces can break off and go into the heart. Let's see. Okay, well, we're going to talk about. So anyway, what am I going to do? In this particular case, I am going to hope that it's strongyloides. Maybe it's a pinworm that got lost. See, here's another clue. In all of this, you can't see here, but I don't see any ova. If there were a pinworm infection I would expect to see ova. Even if I see adults, I would at least also see ova. And I don't, which is why I don't think it's pinworms. I don't think these are adults that just somehow got lost. I'm more concerned that they are strongyloides. And so what I'm going to do is I will do a round of fenbendazole. And if that clears up the entire infection and I don't see the adults or any ova, then okay, it was strongyloides. If I do a round of fenbendazole and in the next 2, 3, whatever fecals, I still see adult worms in the fecal, that's telling me that this is these are lungworms, and I have to go to something. I have to go to my vet and say, vet, it's not working. The fenbendazole is not working. We have to do the ivermectin, and we have to do something systemic. And at that point, I will get a very, very careful dose of ivermectin because I want to mess with that thing. That's we got to be very, very careful with ivermectin. And so this is when we start putting together all of these clues, we can start putting together working with our vet and putting together a plan that, someone may say, why not just do ivermectin? That's going to take care of the gastrointestinal nematodes as well as the lungworms. And so why not just do the medicine that is going to get the entire body? And the reason is because it's dangerous. Even though you've got the right dosage, everything we give to our chameleon, all of these antiparasitics are poisons. And the chameleon's body has to deal and has to process these poisons. And so it's not like medicine is candy to chameleons, but it's death for parasites. No, it is a poison that is at a low enough dose that the chameleon's body can process it. But this is what overdose is. Well, when we give a little bit too much and the chameleon's body can't process it, it gets poisoned. So it is always worth doing the safest thing first to see if it works. And only if the fenbendazole doesn't work do we go to something like ivermectin. So James says, I feel like I had a front row seat for the past 3 weeks. Oh, by the way, everybody, this is all on the fecal smear. There's the fecal float. And you can see those are the bodies because the float, the solution that we put into the float, we put in a solution that has a specific gravity. So the eggs, the ova, and the parasitic material floats up and we can get it on a slide and everything else floats down, but it kills everything. So these are the dead worm bodies that I found in the fecal float. Should I avoid letting loose black soldier fly larvae in the cage due to the worm cycle? Black soldier fly larvae, if you let them go in the cage, will turn into black soldier flies and be eaten by the chameleon. So it's not that big of a deal. If you're worried about parasites, if you have a wild caught, if your chameleon does have parasites, then the black soldier flies could transmit the parasites. I don't know how dangerous it is when the black soldier fly, it gets into this, like the pupates, and then it breaks out. I don't know what the risk is. I haven't thought about that. But yeah, I wouldn't. Chameleons love the larva, the fly. Maybe that's a dog thing. Yeah, I don't know about pieces breaking off and going to the heart. I haven't heard about that. But then again, everything we know about reptiles has been taken from dog and livestock and all that because we just don't have the the research dollars for us chameleon people. And everybody, this is an important thing. I mean, I've been going through this for the longest time. You talk about hookworms and stuff. If you go into the literature, it says that hookworms get into the body through the skin, which it does for humans and dogs. But it gets in through the skin through hair follicles. So that doesn't mean that the hookworms for reptiles go in through the skin. Then this is an assumption that is made in so many parts of our, even in scientific literature. If you follow that back, I can't find, and I would love it if anybody here could find, is there any scientific study that confirms that reptile hookworms have the same ability to go through the cutaneous route, through the skin, to infect a reptile? I've not seen that is the case. So we have to be careful, even with scientific literature, because scientific literature sometimes makes these assumptions without referencing it. So just something for all of us to keep in mind when we go out and we start exploring. We here in the chameleon community, we're in the niche of a niche of a niche. We don't get the funding that everybody else, like chickens, do. Oh, I love all the science and medicine behind chameleon keeping. Informational source. Yeah, we got to do a lot of thinking on our own. Nice flip. Thank you. You know. All right, look at that. And here's another view. And the thing that's very interesting is I don't see any ova. So I've got these adults, but I don't have the ova. So that's a huge clue as to what this could be. Goodbye, Leander. Yeah, he's over in Denmark. So yeah, it's really late for him. Okay. Whew. All right, everybody, it's now time for any last questions. We have had some fun. I do want to say, if anybody is interested in the satanic leaf-tailed gecko, the latest episode of the Branch Demon podcast, which is something I do with my wife, Yvette, because she's a breeder of Uroplatus fantasticus, is out. You can find it on any, like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Branch Demon podcast. It's out. We talk about breeder care versus keeper care. And why are we doing that? Because we have fought against this in the chameleon community for so long. And the thing is, the chameleon community is much more mature than the Uroplatus community. We're bigger, and we've had more time to get set in our ways and resistant to change. The Uroplatus community isn't that big. We're going to have the same dynamics of breeders saying, oh, well, this is the way I've done it, so this is the way it should be done. But we're a lot newer in the Uroplatus community, so there's a chance that we can bypass the decade or two that we had to fight in the chameleon community to get to enriching husbandry. So that's what this podcast is about. And so if you're interested in Uroplatus, or you're just interested in watching a community grow, check out that podcast episode and join us. And you will find so much of what we talk about with Uroplatus applies to chameleons, and so much of what we talk about chameleons applies to Uroplatus fantasticus because they live in the same area. We will go, those of us who are going to Madagascar are going to see Uroplatus fantasticus, where we see the shamrock chameleons, where we see a lot of the mini Kaluma, and as well as we see Kaluma malte. We see them in two areas of their range, and they're living in the same areas. So it's a lot of synergy between the Uroplatus fantasticus and chameleons. Oh, are you going to take a power nap, Bill? Yes, I am. Let's build that Uroplatus community. Yeah, if you guys love the Uroplatus community, Misty Mountain Fans, that's my wife, Yvette. And we have a newsletter. We're starting to build a Uroplatus outreach. We have a weekly podcast that's going to be used to talk about these ideas. And we have the third episode out already. We have a monthly newsletter. So if you go to Misty Mountain Fans, PHANTS.com, you can sign up for the newsletter. And we're trying to build that community. And every month, the first Sunday of every month, we have a live session on the Misty Mountain Fans YouTube channel. Now, this next month is going to be the second Sunday because we've got a special guest, Lawrence Erickson, who is one of the original, I think he's the first guy to dedicate himself to breeding Eurypletus fantasticus solely. And he's the one who was the first one who put a stake in the ground and says, all right, I am going to have Eurypletus fantasticus available for sale on a regular basis. And so you can depend on me being there. Now, you can't ship all the time because sometimes it's too hot, but the availability is there. And that is a milestone in community development. So, and on Monday, there will be another episode of the Chameleon Academy podcast coming out. And this is going to be about, should you get a Parson's Chameleon? Yeah, we're going to be talking about Parson's Chameleons. So, whew. All right, everybody. I want to say thank you so much for joining me and making Saturday a fun place to be. And I will be here on Sunday. So, not Sunday, Tuesday. I will be here on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific time for our open question and answer session. And this week, please send me your Parson's Chameleon pictures. If you didn't get in on this time, send them to me. And so we'll get in the second time. And those of you who were part of this first time, if you have any more pictures, better pictures, to say, hey, I want to send this, send those as well. We need to, Robin, we need to see, was it Clifford? Who was it, the orange eye that didn't look orange eye? We need a redo. I think that was Clifford. I'm not sure. Whoever it is, we need a redo of him. And so don't be shy about sending more pictures, even if we make them different pictures, but it could be the same chameleon. I mean, who here is tired of seeing Parson's Chameleons? I'm going to include mine. Stephanie, I need some from you. And we will show James's adventure with Sully when he escaped and just hung out in James's yard. So we're going to have some fun. All right, everybody, making sure there's no last chat questions. Mikey Ben says, great podcast, jumping into enrichment. If you have trouble sleeping, Bill's voice will help you sleep better. Oh, yes. And everybody, I am working on that app. And I hope I can get it out soon because we've got a lot of fun things to do. Everybody, Chameleon Academy, we are going to have a lot of fun coming up, and I just need to do a whole heck of a lot of work to get the infrastructure set up. So anyway, everybody, it's wonderful to see you, and I will see you all on Tuesday.